Well, hello there and good day to you. Welcome to the Daily Download with yours truly for today, Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. And we're looking at the astrology for today, the psychology of the astrology. What are we doing today? How are we handling life today? What process are we going through? How are we intellectualizing the awareness that we have? What conversations? What perspective in the conversation do we play? What role do we play in the dialogue, in the intellect, in our truth? How are we communicating? How are we listening? How are we processing? Let's take a look at the chart. Let's take a look at the chart. So we talked yesterday about how the moon was going to be arriving in Gemini. Okay. Moon in Gemini. Bunch of ideas, multitasking, doing 10 things at one time, being very busy. And it is simply a lot to process. What do you have in Gemini in your birth chart? What do you have in Gemini in your progress chart? Where is Gemini? Where is Mercury, right? The ruler of Gemini in your natal progressed charts. How's that mercurial energy moving? Is it sluggish? Is it super excited? You know, are you running on all cylinders? All pistols are on? Very busy bee. What are you accomplishing as a busy bee? Now, this morning, the moon being at 7 degrees of Gemini, we're gonna look exactly across the chart. I remember I used to call Black Moon Lilith if Pluto had a wife. That would be her. So Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius wants to be laser focused, wants to cut through the excitement or the sluggishness, and cut to the chase, get to the point, stand on top of a mountain and declare the truth. It has a lot to do with singularity of integrity of the mind space, of our beliefs, and what we hold as the truth. So in Sagittarius, there's one truth, laser focused, sometimes too much, where we have blinders on the sides of our eyes, you know, like horses. You put blinders on the side of the horse's eyes to protect the horse from external stimulants or being shocked. And so they're just laser focused onto what is directly ahead of them. And everything else, all the other distractions, all the other variables, all the other possibilities are eliminated. right? Moon in Gemini, not so much. You know, rip the blinders off, look at all the possibilities, listen to all the sides of a conversation, debate, argument. Consider wearing different hats. Which personality do you prescribe to in any given conversation or dialogue or intellectual process? So, of course, these two energies are polarizing one another. And not only that, but as the moon is very briefly, because the moon moves quite quickly through the degrees of the chart, but this morning, you know, at least the first half of the day, we do have the moon in Gemini opposing black moon Lilith in Sagittarius. The key is to hold both polarities at the same time. Hold that black moon Lilith in Sagittarius where you are just laser focused onto directly what is in front of you, what you're dealing with, cut out all the other nonsense. And at the same time, being aware, opening your eyes to the variables, the differences, the possibilities and opportunities that are presenting themselves from the left, from the right, from above, from below, from all around. Easier said than done. This is in a T-square to the North Node in Pisces, where we overcome the duality that this opposition in Sagittarius and Gemini is. That's the key. You know, go to the North Node. Does it really matter? Yes, it matters. No, it doesn't matter. Pisces, you know, engulfs everything and dissolves everything. So, and of course, we have the sun at 6 degrees of Pisces today, amplifying fate. You know, we can argue, let's call it arguing. We can argue within ourselves in our own minds, you know, when you're just having all these thoughts and conversations and ideas and kind of gymnastics of the brain. And then, you know, you go to sleep at night and hopefully you rest well. You dream or you reset, sleep, slumber, sleep, meditation. Just let it all go. And on the 20th, what is that? Today's Tuesday, the 24th, Wednesday, the 25th. On the 27th, Friday, I believe it's Friday the 27th, the sun and the North Node will be together at 8 degrees of Pisces, 9 degrees of Pisces. So maybe this is talking about overcoming a mental belief system, conversational conflict within ourselves, with others, and finally dissolving out of the dynamic into just fate. It is what it is. We don't know everything. We do not understand everything, nor are we meant to. If you go through life, needing to understand everything, then today's alignment of the moon and black moon Lilith is a natural state for you to be in. Does this create peace? No. Does it create excitement? Yes. Does it create intense dynamics? Yes. Is that part of our earthly experience? Yeah. But there's always like the way out, the key out of the tension would be the North Node. So, and we vacillate between, this polarity, which can be very revealing and very necessary. And we got to have conversations, and we should be able to debate things. And sometimes this all happens in the privacy of our own minds. And it's good. We're not dull or numb. We're also not self-righteous. We're also not completely confused, and taken by the winds of everything around us. We do have integrity. We do have a moral compass. So that's what's happening this morning. Of course, we're going to add the South Node in Virgo. This right here. South Node in Virgo in this chart. Oh, can we be nitpicky, fault finding? You have a beautiful bouquet of flowers, and you point out the one flower that didn't do so well, or the one browning leaf. You pick out the one negative. Debbie Downer, bursting bubbles, being extremely pessimistic, analytical, naysaying. Fun times. Not. Right? So this is an intense, it's in the mutable signs. So it doesn't need to stick. But just notice if your self-talk, notice other people's self-talk. I'll be kind of, so there's a lot of mercurial energy in the chart, obviously, because Gemini and Virgo are both ruled by Mercury. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the higher mind of Mercury. And then Pisces is ruled anciently by Jupiter, which can be, lazy, gluttonous, or extremely blessed. That's Jupiter, Pisces, and of course Neptune, Pisces. So what's the message of today? And what's the message of today? Well, it is the mind. And we know what's in the mind by hearing what is on the tongue. The tongue reveals what's in the mind. And it's a good day to observe and witness our own minds and the way other people have their mental constitution. There's going to be exposure of the Debbie Downers in all of us. What does that serve? There might be some negative thinking, some naysaying, some, pointing out the smallest defect. Yes, honey. You're still hungry? Okay, I'll get your yogurt. Okay? Okay. All right. I'll be right there. But and then the flip side to the South Node in Virgo, of course, is the North Node in Pisces. Who cares? What are we attaching ourselves to? Are we attaching ourselves to that South Node in Virgo when we hear it in ourselves or when we hear it in others? No, hopefully not. We recognize it as a mental process that we have to go through. Then we kind of snap out of it. North Node in Pisces is a lot stronger than that South Node in Virgo because the sun is with the North Node and getting very close to that fate. Can we argue fate? No. Can we change our fate? I don't think so. We surrender and are blessed by fate, which is the hand of God, who does know everything, who does understand everything, that the Gemini mind and the Sagittarius mind can only capture glimpses of at time. The lesson is to be in Pisces right now. The key, the lesson, the opportunity is to be in Pisces with the sun and the North Node. The great thing is that we get to see right now how much we are in that space, and even better, how much we're not in that space, either with the moon in Gemini kind of being all over the place, or the black moon Lilith in Sagittarius being very narrow-minded and focused on one reality and truth with moral compass, with little tolerance for the Gemini offerings of variety. And then we can also see, God forbid, our naysayer, Debbie Downer, let me find every little tiny piece of human error in myself, in you, and something in my environment. So it's kind of a fun way to look at the astrology today. The hand of God, Pisces, fate. Whether we like it or not, it doesn't matter, because we don't understand everything, nor were we ever meant to. But we're in it, and you should have fun. If you're in that Gemini moon, my God, that's fun. You're all over the place. You're a busy bee. You're going here, you're going there. You're talking to this person, you're talking to that person. You're processing stuff like crazy in your brain. You're interacting. You're all over the neighborhood. You're connecting, networking, engaging with others, showing yourself, seeing other people. Fun. Black moon Lilith in Sagittarius can be that, through it all, the moral compass. No shenanigans. Not putting up with it. And then the South Node in Virgo, in a fun way, can be, well, the discernment of illness, the discernment of that one flower that didn't quite make it in the bouquet. Perfection, wanting perfection. So eliminating, what's not healthy and bright. And then let's all, move all of that towards the hand of God in Pisces with the North Node and the Sun. We'll feel it very strongly on Friday. Okay, so let me do one thing here. Hold on 1 second there. I'm still, it's strange learning. What am I doing? Learning this computer again. And I hadn't really touched the computer in like 3 years. That was kind of fun. Just not be with the computer. Here you go. If you guys want an astrology reading with me, here's the Venmo link. Also, you can email me at astrologydailydownload@gmail.com, and we can do a 90-minute session together. We'll look at the natal chart if you need that, the progress chart, and the transit chart. You'll be able to record it on your end and on your device. You record it yourself, 90 minutes together. It's $150. For anybody who's interested, thank you for your support. It is much appreciated. And we'll be back at it tomorrow, Wednesday. I won't be here on Thursday doing the astrology, so I'll see you guys again after tomorrow on Friday. Take care, everybody.